Okay, guys, this is going to be a Tempest Dynasty opener guide. I played this game versus Daffodil today. He's top 10. I do lose this game, but I feel really good about the opener regardless. And it starts off with you making a war factory and activating the logistics plan so that your buildings build faster. So we go war factory, we make a single harvester and a power plant, and then we make our barracks. Okay? So I can skip through this a little bit because there's not too much that happens in this first minute. You do really need, it's like absolutely imperative that you disable the logistics plan after the war factory builds, because if the logistic plan is running while your war factory builds, it will make your harvester take 20 extra seconds to build. Okay, so we make the power plant and we activate the overcharge mode on it so that we can build our first harvester faster. We make the barracks first, and I'll pause here. A lot of the times I won't do this, but on certain maps, you have what I would call a free Tempest Processing Center, and you can go grab the first Tempest Processing Center for free, right? Like this one's behind our base. This is a free Tempest Processing Center. On the snow map as well, there's a Tempest Processing Center behind your base that's free. Like you can get an engineer there and they will not be able to stop you from getting it. So if you have a map like that where you can do that, definitely make an engineer first instead of infantry first. But on maps where you don't have a free Tempest Processing building to capture, go for 5 Tempest Dynasty guards. So you're going to get your first Gatherer, right? And then you're going to make 2 Havocs. And what you need to do is you need to turn this power plant off, because you don't need to build the Havocs faster. You need to turn the power plant off, and you need to turn the logistics plan on the command center back on, because it makes that first harvester that you build gather resources 20% faster. So a lot of the times what people do, I think, and it's a little bit, it's hard to make a good decision here with these first 2 Havocs, but the best thing to do is just to go straight to your opponent's worker line and kill their workers, okay? That is like the best thing you can do. I like to make 5 Tempest Dynasty guardsmen. Gosh, what are they called? The riflemen, the basic infantry. I make 5 of them to send with my Havocs, because the normal thing for our opponent to do, you see I ignore the Tempest processing facility here. This is really important. You want to ignore this, because what happens is you get to his base right now, right? And you see his second refinery here. I just instantly kill it. That's like really bad. That's like really bad when they lose this building. It doesn't lose them money, but it loses them a lot of time and mental energy to lose that. And then you're going to see here, he doesn't have a single infantry unit yet, right? Because he went 3 refineries. So my 2 Havocs come in, and we start killing his harvester. And the secret here is that you don't kill the drone operators when he builds them, okay? Because the drone operators don't actually do that much damage. Unfortunately, I did lose that extra engineer. I was making the second engineer, and you should just go capture your extra Tempest Processing Center if you need to. But you can see here, I'm killing this harvester incredibly quickly, and then I just make the mistake of attacking the barracks. But right now, I could have killed his second harvester for free. There would have been absolutely nothing he could do to stop me, because I have the 4 Tempest Dynasty guards here, and they're going to help me clear up the infantry that he's building to kill my Havocs, right? So you're going to see what happens, right? The drone is going to pop out, right? He pops this drone out, and you instantly kill it with the Havocs. It instantly dies to the Havocs. So what you should do is just kill their other harvester. I think this would have been a free win versus a top 10 player if I had killed the other harvester. So this is like the build order for this. And unfortunately, I decide to attack his barracks because I didn't properly identify that I had like a win the game moment here. And you can see I lose one of my Havocs, and my infantry aren't doing jack squat because they're attacking a building that's under repair right now. And if we'd killed that second harvester, we would have won the game for free, right? So the follow-up to this is that we just make lots of Tempest rigs. We go control the towers on the map, and we make matchsticks, okay? I think the best follow-up to this is to go for the really fast airfield and make
Range to
matchsticks.
shoot back? Fucking shit, bro. Are you
Oh,
kidding
this is
me?
a moment that's really funny. Dynasty guards have less range than the GDF
Dude, do I
scout.
not have the range to shoot back?
And I just
Fucking
noticed it
shit,
here,
bro.
which
Are
is
you
really
kidding me?
annoying and super funny. But unfortunately for us, our opponent is expanding to this area because I didn't send infantry over here fast enough to deny him this location. So you're seeing I'm just
That's
building
so
more
troll
Tempest
that I don't have
rigs.
the range to shoot
I'm
back.
getting the air factory, and we're making matchsticks. Like I said, spoiler alert, I do lose this game, but I think the analyzing of the early game is really important. That Havoc plus infantry rush is incredibly powerful, and I haven't fought against anyone that has really easily dealt with it. They all kind of just die horribly to that if you just kill their harvesters. So you can see here I have the couple of matchsticks.
These for as long as possible.
And what you should do with the matchsticks is go to their Tempest processing facilities once you have 3 matchsticks. And I'm pretty sure 3 matchsticks will kill the Tempest processing facility without having to run out of ammo. The Doctrine pathways that you want to use are the far right. So the one that will make it so that your power plants can do 50% less damage to the buildings that they're doing distribution mode to. So when your power plants get overcharged, they make the buildings around them build faster, but they damage them. And the second tier Doctrine will reduce the amount of damage that the distribution mode does to the buildings by 50%, which means that you can have it on indefinitely if you have a repair salvage vehicle or just repair in general running on it. I think that it's actually a mistake here for me to go for the second machine shop. I should have just kept making more infantry and building more matchsticks, because I do eventually lose air control here. You see, I brought the matchsticks to his base, but they were just on A move, and they end up not killing this harvester when they absolutely could have killed that harvester. You can see, like, right when this fight starts, I, like, look at it, and it's like half their ammunition is already wasted, right? Like, they just wasted, like, multiple shots on the racks there for no reason, and that's pretty sad. But now he's got the anti-air answer to the matchsticks, and this is when I should be adding the dragonflies. I think they're called dragonflies. They're the Tempest Dynasty's air-to-air unit. I'm down here trying to deny his expansion, but this is probably a pretty bad idea since he has a pretty overwhelming army right now. And here's my signature move, which is over-focusing on micro tasks. We just keep adding more of the landing pads instead of making extra production structures for our aerial units, because building the aerial units is incredibly expensive, and I don't think you can afford to build out of more than one aerial production structure this early in the game. I think you need like 10 plus workers before, like 10 plus Tempest rigs that are like actively mining before you think about adding a second aerial production facility. So my army's composition here is going to end up being rocket troopers and havocs. But I think that that's a pretty big mistake. I think that the boar tank is undervalued by most players right now. Most people think that the boar tank is pretty bad, but the boar tank is really good at absorbing damage. And unfortunately, a lot of people think that it's not worth making. But I think it's really good, and the boar tank is like worth adding to your army instead of the havocs when you get the rocket launcher troops. So after you get the distribution mode upgrade in your doctrine list, it's really important that you just get 3 levels of doctrines in the middle tree. The first one is the one that gives you your infantry right here, right? Let me go back just a little bit. Okay, so we have the doctrine tree right here. And in the middle, the first one gives your infantry more hit points. The second one makes your infantry get veterancy faster. And the third upgrade is the most important one. It increases the amount of ammunition that your units have by 50%. So your matchstick will be able to shoot 50% more bullets before returning home to reload. And your porcupines will also have 50% more ammunition. And this is one of the most powerful doctrines that Tempest Dynasty has. So you get these two on the right, and then you get the three in the middle. I haven't really developed which doctrines to get past that point yet because I don't know which more valuable. You can see here that I'm floating quite a bit of money, so this would have been the time to add 2 more barracks and get the upgrade on the radar station because we know his ground army is like really overwhelming right now. I think the best answer to this ground army that GDF is making is the leveler. Okay, I think the leveler is incredibly powerful versus the ground army here. And you're going to see what happens is that I lose control of my harvester positions and I end up just losing the game. But levelers and dragonfly, you're going to see my dragonflies here, right? You can see these guys. They're really good. They absolutely own his air units. I'm just like not controlling the units very effectively because I'm queuing around. I'm using the F2 button to queue around. And unfortunately, that ends up biting me in the ass because my air units just wander into his army and die horribly. You see all my matchsticks died there, and that's pretty rough. And I'm moving into this position to try and fight, but I don't have enough anti-armor units, right? Like, I have the rocket troops, but he has the peacekeepers. And you're going to see when the peacekeepers hit my infantry units, they get crowd controlled. They can't shoot back anymore because the peacekeepers owned them. So I dropped the infirmary here, and this ends up going okay for me. But I don't have enough production queues right now to keep up with my income. So now would be the time for me to add extra barracks, add an extra vehicle bay, and add an extra aerial production structure because we're just not spending the money. Look I'm like permanently at 10,000 resources, even though I have 4 production structures constantly building. The officers are very important. You really want to get a line officer because the line officer has an area of effect ability that you can cast very often. It has very low cooldown, and it gives 50% attack speed and 50% movement speed to your units for like a couple of seconds, which is really significant and can absolutely shift a fight in your favor very quickly. So I'm adding in these extra production structures now, and we're slowly working our way towards not levelers because my brain hasn't like really evolved well enough in this game yet. You see, I actually catch his rally of his specialist there, which actually was pretty good for me. I killed his comms officer. I think as long as the GDF player doesn't have a comms officer, you can win straight up army fights against them. But if they have like a comms officer and they have the aura that provides comms, you're in a lot of trouble actually. So, as I said, if I was teching towards levelers right now, I think we would beat his army. He doesn't have the anti-air in his army anymore because I have the dragonflies, and they're very superior to the peacekeepers as far as like the air-to-air engagement is involved. The dragonflies can shoot from significantly further away than the peacekeepers can. So I've completely wiped out his air army right now. And if I had like 1 or 2 levelers, I think we could just like completely wipe his army out right now. But you're seeing I'm floating a lot of money because I just haven't pieced together that later stage of teching in this game yet. I have the 2 airfields, but I don't have the upgrade on the radar station. What you need is to get the Bastion tech on your command center, and then I can't remember the name of the radar station upgrade, but it unlocks that upgrade, and that's what unlocks your tier 4 unit, or tier 3 unit in this case, I guess, and gives you the leveler. You can see now he's starting to take my harvesters out, and I'm going to go bankrupt, and unfortunately, this spells doom for me in this game. I have a pretty overwhelming air control, though, and I just don't have the mental idea of how to progress my economy from this point. And unfortunately, yeah, I'm just like I don't have enough production queues to build units, which is just a shame, right? Yeah, see, I have lots of dragonflies right now, so I have total air control. If I had any amount of levelers, I think we just win the game. And unfortunately, I don't have enough firepower to take out all these hunter tanks. Levelers would absolutely win this game for me, though. So I think that early game flow is really strong. We have the Havoc and Dynasty Guard early game aggression. to go and attack and kill harvesters. And then we build the rocket ship or the rocket trooper plus matchstick army. And when we see our opponent has created an answer to our matchsticks, we just add the dragonflies. And then we will make boar tanks and levelers as well as rocket troopers. So that's kind of like my general flow for the game plan right now. I do end up losing this game because he takes out all of my harvesters and destroys my economy. And then we have to GG because he just has too much stuff. You can see here even now, right? Like he just doesn't have the anti-air that he needs to win. He just has a bunch of sentinels, which, you know, like if I had one leveler, the ability of the leveler is this long range artillery move. We could just kill half of his army with that ability right now. I think it was a mistake for me to add the porcupines because unfortunately they're really slow and I neglected to get the tier 3 Doctrine upgrade that gives us 50% more ammunition. So that's that, and unfortunately I do lose this game. GG.
First
I was like,
fucking thing of all time that it deselects my army.
Yeah, okay. So this is I'm complaining about the deselecting your army. I don't know if there's an option for this in the game or not, but when you left click on the ground, it will deselect your army, and I really don't like that. I have that option turned off, and like, yeah, you see right there, I just got the ammunition doctrine, and it's just like way too late in the game now. The deselecting of your army is really annoying because you can like attack move, and it will deselect your army if you double click. So I'm struggling with some of the mechanics in this game, but that's my current Tempest Dynasty playstyle and rundown. I know I did lose this game, but I hope that it was a good example of what you should do. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. I appreciate you. GG.